Namah Parvati Pataye Govindanam Sankirtanam.
Namaste everyone. I am very happy to see you all here once again. So, before going to Srimad Bhagavatam, we'll start with an invocation. We'll start with a prayer. Om Shuklam Vardharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chadurbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vighnobhashantaye. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha, Guruve Sarva Lokanam, Vishaje Bhavaroginam, Nidhe Sarva Vidyanam, Dakshinamurteye Namaha. தென்னாடுடைய பெரியவா போற்றி எந்நாட்டவர்க்கும் இறைவா போற்றி சர்வஜ்ஞா சர்வவியாபி பெரியவா சரணம் மாயப்பிறப்பருக்கும் மகா பெரியவா அடி போற்றி. ஓம் ஜன்மாத்யஸ்ய யதோ அன்வயாதிதரதஸ்தாஹ சாஸ்தேஷு அபிஜ்ஞः ஸ்வராட் தேனே பிரம்மஹிருதாய ஆதிகவயே முஹ்யந்தி யத் சூரயः தேஜோ வாரிமிருதாம் யதா விநிமயோ யத்ர த்ரிசர்கோ மிருஷாம் தாம்னா ஸ்வேன சதா நிரஸ்தகுஹகம் சத்யம் பரம் தீமஹி. மூகம் கரோதி வாசாலம் பங்கும் லங்கயதே கிரிம் யத்கிருபாதமஹம் வந்தே பரமானந்த மாதவம். So in the last session in Srimad Bhagavatam, we have seen how Kamsan, the demon, Rakshasan. Kamsan is a Rakshasan. He killed the Shado Garbham. Shado Garbham means the 6 sons of Devaki, one after the other. So, Sukacharya, after that, the Lord himself, who was soon to appear in the, 8th son of Devaki, ordered Yogamaya to take birth in the womb of, from the womb of Yashoda. So, Sukacharya now begins the Krishna avatar. So, very auspiciously he begins. He begins with an auspicious word. That is, Tato Jaganmangalam. Tato Jaganmangalam Achyutam Shubham. See, he begins with Tato Jaganmangalam. The whole universe should get prosperity, auspiciousness. For all the living entities in all the, universe of the creation. So, here, what happened when the 7th child of Devaki, was transferred from the, into the womb of Rohini by Yogamaya from Devaki. It seems like, Devaki seemed to have a miscarriage. See, thus all that, all the inhabitants of the palace there, they started, lamenting loudly, like alas, Devaki has lost her child. So here, thus the Paramatma who is the super soul or the supreme soul of all the living entities, and who vanquishes all the fear of his devotees, he entered into the mind of Vasudeva in full opulence, eliminating effulgence within the core of his heart. And thus, he became, as bright as a sun. Vasudeva has become as bright as a sun. Thereafter, the fully opulent Paramatma, who is all auspicious for the entire universe, was transferred from the mind of Vasudeva to the mind of Devaki. So what happens now, Devaki, having thus been initiated by Vasudeva, became, very, very beautiful, by carrying Lord Krishna in her womb. That is the original consciousness or the Paramatma, for everyone. Sukacharya describes some, it is like, it is just as the east becomes beautiful by carrying the rising moon. So since Devaki was under the arrest, under the arrest in the house of Kamsan, that is, she is being jailed. So she's in the house of Kamsan, which is like she is under the four walls. She's sitting inside the four walls of Kamsan's room. So she was like the flames of a fire covered by the walls of a pot, or Saraswati Jnanakale Yatha Sati means, or like a Jnanakalan means, or like a person who has got knowledge but who cannot distribute it to the world, for the benefit of the human society. That is, he is keeping his knowledge inside himself. He doesn't want to distribute, or he doesn't want to show to others, share it with others, his knowledge. That is called Jnanakalan. Now, Kamsan came to the jail to see Devaki, who is, pregnant. That is with the 8th pregnancy. So he came to the jail, but he saw, seeing her jubilant, pure and smiling, Kamsan thought, the Supreme Vishnu, who is now within her, will kill me. Definitely he is going to kill me. So Devaki has never before looked so jubilant and so beautiful. So he is thinking like that. Kamsan thought, what's my duty now? See, the Lord who knows his purpose. What is his purpose? The Lord's purpose is paritranaya sadhunam vinasaya cha dushkridam. So he will not give up his prowess. So he is definitely going to come and kill me. So why should I kill Devaki? No. Devaki is a woman. She is my sister. And moreover, she is now pregnant. So if I kill her, my reputation, my opulence, and the duration of my life will certainly be vanquished. Moreover, Kamsan thought, if the Lord has decided to do something, no one can stop him. It's going to happen. So he decided to wait until the Lord was born and then do whatever was needed. And then do what was needed. So Sukacharya says this appropriate, he says every time he points out appropriate point at an appropriate time. See, he says, while sitting, Kamsan, he says about Kamsan, while sitting on his throne, or while he's sitting in his room or his couch, while laying on his bed, or indeed while, situated anywhere, or while eating, sleeping or walking, Kamsan saw only his enemy. His enemy is the Supreme Paramatma, Hrishikesan, Padmanabhan, Lord Krishna. So in other words, by thinking of his all-pervading enemy, Kamsan became, unfavorably thinking of Krishna alone. So wherever he sees, whatever he thinks, he is with Krishna. He is with Krishna alone. He always thinks of Krishna. See, this is due to fear. See, that's due to fear, he got the Krishna Smarana. Because of fear, he got the Krishna Smarana. Thus, he gets the moksha due to the fear. So only Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, to keep the mind on me. Manmanabha. See, he doesn't insist to keep, the mind on him with bhakti bhava. He said to keep the mind on him anyway. Anyway, one has to keep the mind on Krishna. So, now what happens? So here Devaki is in jail. All the Devatas, everyone, all they approached the room of Devaki, where, they are all, they all joined together in offering the respectful prayers or obeisances to please the Lord. One of the beautiful slokam in Bhagavatam, which personally I like it. Satyavratam satyaparam trisatyam satyasya yonim nihitam cha satya satyasya satyam hridasatya netram satyatmakam tvam charanam prapannam. It's a beautiful slokam. See, Bhagavan, Swami, Lord Parameshwara means Paramatma is Satyavratan. Satyavratan. His sankalpam itself is Satyam. That is, he will never deviate from his vow, which is always perfect, because whatever he desired is perfectly correct, because he is Paramatma. So he cannot be stopped. He cannot be stopped by anyone. That is Satya Param. So if one wants to know him, the margam means path. The path itself is Satyam. So that's why Srimad, Bhagavatam begins with the slogan and ends with them, Namo Bhagavate, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, and Satya Param Dhimahi. Satyam Param Dhimahi. Lord Krishna is the Parama Satyam, the supreme truth. So the supreme truth can be approached or understood only by supreme methods, as declared, by the supreme truth. Bhaktyamam abhijanati yam yavan yaschasmi tatvatah. Bhakti is the only way. Bhakti is the only way to understand the truth. He is the absolute truth in all the three phases. It means the past tense, present tense, and future tense. Krishna Paramatma, when doing Upadesam to, Arjuna, he says, I told all these Upadesams, all these teachings, not only to Ishwahu and not only to Manu, but also to Suryan. So he is there always. Krishna, the Paramatma, is there always. Trisatyam, Satyasya Yonim, the universe, which is, considered as a Pancha Baudigam. Pancha Baudigam is also called Satyam, because this is a Vyavahariha Satyam, because this is a relative truth, because we believe in this world. We live in this world. The material world which we live is always impermanent. It's not permanent. It's impermanent. And the devas are impermanent. And the boons derived from the devas are also impermanent. Whereas actually the Bhagavan, or the living entity is eternal. It is eternal. The living entity is eternal. And every living entity, therefore, must search for eternal happiness, not temporary happiness. See, we believe in this Pancha Baudiga Ulagam. Ulagam means world. It is Prithvi, Appu, Tejas. The three are called Sat, and Vayu and Akasham. Those two are called Tyat. So these two combinedly, it's called Satyam. Sat and Tyat, called Satyam. Thus, this Pancha Baudiga Shariram, the body, is also called Satyam. Satyasya Yonim. That's why it's called Satyasya Yonim. So, since Paramatma, see, here one has to understand that since Paramatma has entered into this Pancha Baudiga Ulagam and Shariram, Nihitam cha Satye. How do you know that he has entered? He has entered. How do you know that he has entered? That is because you see the world. You see the world. That's why you know. See, a good example. I can give you a good example. That is, for constructing a building. If you want to construct a building, you require, you require lots and lots of tons of bricks, sand, cement. But with all these things, you can't construct a building. You need what? Gallons and gallons of water. But after the construction is over, after constructing a building, can you see the water anywhere? Anywhere can you see the water anywhere? No, you can't see it. So where is the water? Is it possible to construct a building without water? No, that is also not possible. See, that's how we see the world only after the Bhagavan's anupravesam. Anupravesam, pravesham inside us. That is how one has to guess the anupravesam of Paramatma. Nihitam cha satye, satyasya satya. Even though all these, all the prabhanjams are gone, the Supreme Paramatma always exists. There is no end for him. There is no end for him. And he exists everywhere. He exists always, and he exists everywhere. He is the absolute truth in all circumstances. Satyasya satyam, hridasatya netram. Hridasatya netram means what? See, there are two things. Hridam and satyam means thinking something in the mind. Thinking something in the mind casually is rhythm. Whatever you say or comes out, whatever you say or comes out of the mouth, this is called satyam. See, these two are the two Lord's eyes. Satyatmakam tvam charanam prapannaha. He is equal to everyone, and his instructions apply for everyone for all time. He is the beginning of all the truth. So this is the meaning of the slokam in Bhagavatam. So thus Lord, Brahma, Maheshwaran, means Parameshwaran, and all the devatas, they offered their obeisances and prayers, and they said, we all surrender unto you. Kindly give us protection. They address Devaki as oh Mother Devaki, because she is going to be the mother of the Paramatma. So they prayed, oh Mother Devaki, see, by your good fortune and ours, the Supreme Lord himself is now within your womb. So your son Krishna will be the protector of the entire universe now, entire Yadu dynasty. So having said all these things, having prayed all these things, they all left. Brahma, Maheshwara, and all the other devatas, they all left. Now Sukacharya, he explains the auspicious time for the appearance of Paramatma. He has to appear. Paramatma has to appear in this world. And so he is explaining the auspicious time. He starts with them, Atha sarva gunopetaha. Means, Atha is a very auspicious word. So Sukacharya start the Krishna Avataram with the auspicious word Atha. Always Mahangal, they only use the auspicious word. They never use bad words. They never use any word which is not good. So, Sarva Gunopetaha, Parama Shobanaha. The entire universe, the entire universe was surcharged with all the qualities of goodness, with all the, qualities of peace and beauty. The constellation, the entire constellation of planets, stars, the sun, the moon, and the other stars, were all very, very, perfectly, or what can I say, the peacefully located. All directions appeared, extremely pleasing. All the directions, all the planets, were located in the appropriate position. The constellation Rohini, Krishna's Nakshatram, Krishna's birth star is Rohini. So the constellation Rohini appeared, as did stars like Ashwini and everything. So the Devata of this Nakshatram is Brahma. Rohini is Brahma. So everything is peaceful. Everything is so good. And everywhere there is Agnihotram. There is Agnihotram, and the lotus, the lotus started blooming in the night. Can you see a lotus started, blooming in the night? So Bhagavat Avataram, this is due to the Bhagavat Avataram. Bhagavan is going to come into this whole world. The Lord is going to come. Krishna Avataram is going to take place. The Supreme Paramatma, Vishnu, who is situated in the core of everyone's heart, appeared from the heart of Devaki. In the dense, you can see in the dense darkness of night, like the full moon rising on the eastern horizon. There was no noise from Devatas. At the time of Lord's appearance, the great sages and Devas, being pleased, began to shower flowers. At the seashore, there was a sound of mild waves. Mild waves, It's a very pleasing thing. And above the sea, there were clouds in the sky, which began to thunder, but very pleasingly. The appearance of Lord Vishnu at that time could be compared to the, raising of the full moon on the sky on the eastern horizon. Paramatma appeared in the Bhulogam. Paramatma appeared in the Bhulogam as he was at Vaikuntha. He appeared like that. Vasudeva had the first darshan of Krishna Paramatma. Tam adbudam balagam ambujekshanam chadurbhujam shanga gadadhayudayudam srivatsalaksham. See, those are all the lakshanam, of Paramatma being described by Sukacharya. Vasudeva saw the newborn child who had very wonderful lotus-like eyes. Ambujekshanam, who bore, in his 4 hands, all the 4 weapons, Shankam, Chakram, Gada, Padmam, and on his chest was the mark of Srivatsam, and on his neck, the Gaustubam gem, dressed in the yellow, beautiful yellow dress, his body, blackish, like a dense cloud, and his scattered hair, fully grown, scattered hair, like and his crown, his earrings sparkling with Vaidurium. He wore a belt, means a Odhyana, bangles and other ornaments, appeared very wonderful. It is very wonderful. In Tamil, we would say, Kulandai, எப்படி இருந்ததுனாக்க, அம்புஜேக்ஷணன் 4 கைகள், சங்கு, சக்கரம், கதை, ஸ்ரீவத்சம், கௌஸ்துபம், ரத்ன கிரீடம், உன்னத நாசிகை, மந்தகாசம், திவ்ய கடாட்சம், ஸ்வர்ண காஞ்சி, கல்யாண காத்திரம், திவ்ய நேத்திரம், காந்தி, நீருண்ட மேகம் போல கேசம் போல இப்படி ஒரு கேசம், இப்படி பார்த்தார் வசுதேவர். See, I am satisfied only when I say it in Tamil because Dikshadhara has told this meaning of this slokam. So there is another meaning, there is another meaning. Balagam means Pa means Brahma, Ka means Brahma. So Lord Brahma appeared in the Nabi Kamalam of Paramatma. Ambujekshanam means meaning Mahalakshmi. There is lotus-like eyes is one of the meaning. And another meaning is Ambujam means Mahalakshmi. Mahalakshmi, so Bhagavan was seeing Mahalakshmi. Ambujekshanam. Thus Vasudeva had Vaikuntha Darsanam. Vasudeva offered obeisances and he offered prayer and he prayed to Paramatma. He had such a darshan. Now we should imagine that Krishna is born as Vishnu himself and we should have the darshan of Vishnu, Sakshat Vishnu. Devaki also, after coming to consciousness, because she had undergone labor, prayed to Paramatma. No one in this material world, no one in the material world has become free from the 4 principles, like the principle of birth, death, old age, and disease. Even by fleeing to various planets, it's like a serpent. It's like a serpent. But now that you have appeared, my Lord, death is fleeing in fear of you. And the living entities having, obtained the shelter at your lotus feet by your mercy, are sleeping in full mental peace. So we are still under terrible fear of Kamsan. So I request you to save us and give us protection from this, terrible fear of Kamsan. Amma Devaki, Mother Devaki is praying to Lord Vishnu. Devaki requested a Lord, who had appeared as Vishnu himself, to conceal that form. For she wanted to see the Lord as an ordinary child, ordinary baby, like the child appreciated by, persons who have material eyes. So Devaki wanted to see the Lord Paramatma, who has been in the Vishnu form as an ordinary baby, baby. So whether the Lord had factually appeared or she was dreaming the Vishnu form. So if Kamsan were to come, then she thought, upon seeing this Vishnu form, what will happen? The Kamsan will get enraged, he'll get angry and he would immediately kill the child. But if he saw a human form, human baby, he might consider also. So she prayed that I request you to save me from the cruel hands of the son of Ugrasenan. That is how Kamsan. Now Bhagavan asked, Amma, are you still afraid of Kamsan even after me coming? Devaki replied, thinking of the death of all the 6 babies, before you, this, before your birth makes me to talk like this. I'm scared. So the Lord, what happened? He transformed himself into the small human baby child. Thereafter, exactly Yogamaya, the Lord's spiritual energy, Yogamaya is Lord's energy, took birth as the daughter of, the wife of Nandagopal, Yashoda at Gokula. So Bhagavan now, he instructed Vasudeva to carry him to Nandagokulam and leave him there with Yashoda, and in turn bring back the girl child of Yashoda here. So he told that the girl baby, will take care of everything. Vasudeva said, how can we do that? We are chained here. We are chained. Bhagavan smiled and said, see, thinking of me and taking abode of me will remove the chains of this samsara. Samsara, the chain is nothing. This chain is only an iron chain. It's nothing. So by the influence of Yogamaya, what happened? All the doorkeepers there, all the doorkeepers, securities, all fell fast asleep. And their senses, unable to work. And the other inhabitants of the house also fell deeply asleep. So they are all sleeping. They were all sleeping. When the sun rises, the darkness automatically disappeared. Similarly, when Vasudeva appeared, the closed doors, which are strongly, pinned with iron and locked with the iron chains, opened automatically. It opened automatically since the clouds and the clouds in the skies were mildly thundering and showering. Adisheshan followed Vasudeva, beginning from the door with the hoods expanded, the 1,000 hoods. He expanded all the 1,000 hoods to protect the Vasudeva and the, this baby, this transcendental baby. So because of this constant rain, the Yamuna river was flooded. But river Yamuna, what happened? She gave way to Vasudeva and allowed him to cross. So Vasudeva, he crossed the Yamuna river and he reached the house of Nandagopal. He saw that all the other, Gopas means shepherd, means cowherd man. Cowherd men are all fast asleep there. Thus he placed his own son on the bed of Yashoda and picked up her daughter and then returned to his residence. His residence means prison of Kamsa. So he returned back. So here, Vasudeva and Devaki, you should not think that they got separated from, Krishna. They never got separated from Krishna. Manmana bhava, mad bhava. See, they will never, meaning, if you engage your mind, always thinking of the Lord, always thinking, he said that always thinking of me, become my devotee, offer prayers and worship me, and he will become, he will be along with me always. And non-devotee, cannot believe this. He can't believe this. That simply by thinking of one person, one cannot achieve all these things. One cannot achieve liberation from this material world and go back to the Godhead. That's what a non-thinker, non-believer of God, he will think. But actually, it's not like that. Repeatedly thinking of the Lord will take us to the Lord. So Vasudeva placed the female child. He got the female child from Yashoda, there from Nandagopal, Gokulam. And he placed the female child on the bed of Devaki, bound his legs with iron shackles, and remained there as before. So exhausted by the labor of childbirth, Yashoda was, overwhelmed with sleep and unable to understand what kind of child had born to her. Here, there, it was like that. And here, the doors inside and outside of the house closed as before. So the girl child, this is a girl child, Yogamai, she started crying. At the top of the lungs, she started crying. The watchman, there he heard the crying, and very quickly, he went to Kamsan and he told that the ruler of Bhoja dynasty, and told the news about, the birth of Devaki's child. Kamsan, who was waiting. That's what he was waiting for. So who had awaited this news very anxiously, immediately took action. Like he immediately got up from his bed. His hair was scattered like anything on his head, and at once he approached there, the place where the child was, had been born. Devaki, now Devaki saw Kamsan, and Kamsan was very angrily, his eyes all red, and he came there, and Devaki helplessly, piteously, he appealed to Kamsan. Oh, my dear brother, all good fortunes unto you, don't kill this girl. It's a girl baby. She will never be harmful. She will never be harmful to you. She will be your daughter-in-law in the future. Indeed, it is unworthy to kill a woman. So you have already killed many babies, all the babies. Kindly spare this girl, this daughter. So Devaki, begged Kamsan for the child, but he was so cruel. He's not like, so he, he chastised her, and, he forcefully snatched the child from her hands. Kamsan snatched and, grasped, this newborn child by the legs and tried to dash her, against the surface of the big stone. The child, the girl baby, the child is Yogamai, the younger sister of Lord Vishnu. She slipped, and she slipped upward from Kamsan's hand and appeared in the sky as Devi, the goddess Durga, with 8 arms, completely equipped with weapons, all the weapons. So goddess Durga here was, was decorated with all the flower garments, garlands, smeared with them. Sandalwood paste, some pulp, and dressed with all the excellent garments and ornaments, and holding in her hands a bow, a trident, arrows, a shield, a sword and a conch shell, a disc, means a chakram, and a gadai, club, and being praised by all the devas, celestial beings like, Apsaras, Gandharvas, Kumaras, Vrigas, Siddhas, Charanas, Gandharvas, who all worshipped her with all kinds of prayers. Now the Durga appeared, Lord Durga, Lord Goddess Durga appeared here. She spoke, "You fool, what will be the use of killing me? Are you trying to kill me? Nobody can kill me. The Lord who has been your enemy from your very beginning and who will certainly kill you, has already taken his birth somewhere else. You can't kill me. You can't kill me." And, but since knowingly or unknowingly you caught my leg, so I am leaving you. I am sparing your life. Otherwise, I will kill you. You knowingly or unknowingly, you caught hold of my leg. That is, you took Charanagati on me. So I am leaving. I am sparing your life. So she appeared. Now that goddess Durga only, she appeared in different places, such as Varanasi, and became celebrated by different names as Annapurni, Durga, Kali, Bhadrakali, Bhadra. So after hearing the words of Durga came to the conclusion. Okay. Anyway, Swami is going to win. That is, Lord Krishna is going to win. Lord is going to win. So he approached his sister Devaki and his brother-in-law, means Vasudeva, and released them, from the shackles. So this is how, Krishna went to Gokulam, and it's a luck for, it's a blessing. It's a blessing for Nandagopar and Yashoda to, to have Lord Krishna with them, to bring the Lord Krishna. And we will see later on the jubilations, all the jubilations all over Vrindavanam in the next session. And we will conclude this session with the Krishna Avatar today. And we will conclude with a prayer of Purnamadam. Okay. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.